Hey loves, it is Angie, your intimacy guru. I'm so sorry I'm in the car, y'all. I got mad crazy errands to run and stuff to do. And so I'm out early, and I know today is Tuesday Topics with Angie D Lee, and I want to stay committed to what I said I was going to do, which is every Tuesday by 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, you will see a new video uploaded on YouTube. And actually, this is playing live on various platforms. So you might be catching this on Facebook, YouTube, or maybe even Instagram. Who knows? Whatever Restream has decided to stream it to. But at the same time, you guys, even though you're watching this live, I'm not currently live. I hate to break it to you. I just have so much stuff to do. And so I'm like pre-recording this, and then I scheduled it live for you all. So I will definitely be responding to your, comments. And if you have questions, I will definitely be looking at that. I might even be looking at it during the time this is going live. It just depends on what I got going on today. But you will hear from me. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. So yeah, so my daughter just dropped her off at school, and then I need to get an oil change, general maintenance for the car. You know, the car needs a massage, just like I need a massage sometimes. Like, I look at my oil changes as massages, so it's like maintenance, a little tune-up. I got my car washed a couple of days ago, and so I look at that as like my car is mani-pedi. So my car washes are like the mani-pedis. The maintenance is like the massages. So it is imperative that I take care of the Lex bubble. So anyway, so while I'm on my way to get my oil changed, I really wanted to go ahead and pose this question today, because this was one of the questions that came to me for Tuesday Topics, and it's, are you in a sexless marriage? Are you in a sexless marriage? And what can you do about it? But now, as we talk about this, there's going to be some things that's going to kind of surprise you too, when I start kind of stating some statistics and some things that researchers have discovered when it comes to married people in their relationship, and how they view sex and how often they have sex. So first of all, I'm curious to see, what do you all classify as a sexless marriage? Okay, so like, do you think it's so many times per year, so many times per week? Just let me know. Like, put it in the comment section and let me know, what do you all classify as a sexless marriage? And then I'm going to tell you what some researchers have found when it comes to sexless marriages. So put that in the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So based off of researchers, and then also what they put on Wikipedia, they're saying that a sexless marriage is considered 10 or less amount of times per year that a couple is having sex. Okay, so that means that you and your mate are having sex no more than like 10 times a year, and that's considered a sexless marriage. Okay, tell me if that surprises you all, or if you kind of knew that already. But yeah, so that's what the research is showing, or at least what they're deeming to be a sexless marriage. Now, not to be confused though with moments, of sex not occurring in your relationship or your marriage due to moments of like grief. Okay, because we know these things can significantly impact our relationships as well. But like, for instance, grief and loss, significant life changes, also including like a loss of a job, relocating, just trying to adjust, life adjustments, sickness, health issues that can come up, that can also affect how often a couple is engaging in sex as well. And then even identity issues like self-esteem and different things like that can play into whether a couple is having sex or not. So there's quite a few things that can come up over time. And for those of you all that have been in long-term committed relationships, you know that there are going to be some ebbs and flows from time to time that's going to affect your sex life. So I'm not speaking so much in reference to that, but I'm definitely speaking to a consistency over time. You're noticing that you all are just not having sex at all. And again, let me kind of go back a little bit too, just to kind of talk about what can be defined as sex in a marriage, and then also whether or not you both are content with that. Okay, so first of all, when we talk about sex, we're talking about some form of sexual connection, interaction with each other. That doesn't always mean that you all are actually having penetrative sex. Okay, so we're not always talking about that, but whether a use of toys or touching each other in an erotic, way, participating in some type of sexual interaction that leads to some type of sexual fulfillment, whether it's, an orgasm or what have you, whatever that is, that's what we're deeming as sex in a marriage. Okay, so if you feel like you all aren't having really any of that, then you may be in a sexless marriage. Okay, and then you have to ask yourself, are you all okay with that and you're content with that? So if both people are totally fine with not engaging in any sexual activity, more than 10 times a year, and you all are both on the same page with that, then this is not a problem for you. So this is not a big deal, because you all are both content in finding other areas that you all feel connected and close, and that's fine. So just because you may not be doing that and you all are content with it, so that doesn't mean that something is wrong with you and that you have to change it. As long as you all both agree and you're fine with that, that's great. Okay, but if one person, at least one person in the marriage, is not okay with not having some type of sexual interaction with their partner over time like this, then yes, then you are considered to be in a sexless marriage. Okay, now another point I want to make is that sex therapists, sex coaches and what have you, have noticed over time what has changed in sexless marriages. They're seeing it more now with a younger demographic. So before, they would have people come into their offices that may be talking about, sexless marriages, and they were typically over 50 years of age. We are no longer seeing that anymore in marriages. It's starting a lot younger. And this is where it can kind of be a little bit of, eye-opening and a shocker that there are a lot of sexless marriages, and this is within the millennial demographic. So we're talking about born between the years of 1981 to 1996. It's very prevalent. It's starting to become a lot more common that sexless marriages are occurring within this age range. Now, why is that, right? Like, that seems kind of odd to be so young and people are experiencing sexless marriages already. And sometimes, we may have found that sexless marriages started around, maybe after year 15 or 20 in a marriage, but they're seeing it more so even in marriages as young as 5 years old. 5-year marriages are starting to experience sexless marriages. Pretty eye-opening, right? And so the thing is, we always have to figure out the root of any of this stuff before we can really kind of get to some type of resolve. And so I am such a relationship nerd. I find this stuff very interesting and always intriguing. I like to kind of understand why we do the things that we do. Why are these things such an issue, right now in our lives, in this present moment? Why is this happening so often? So just some of the obvious things. And I hate this conversation because I say this all the time with a lot of times when I'm talking about issues that come up in modern society, but I must say the shift, you know, with technology and different things like that, that plays such a huge role, you guys. The distractions, like how many times, and again, you're probably watching this privately, you know, so you don't have to answer this question online if you don't feel comfortable. I always say that because I'm serious about that. I want you all to feel as comfortable as possible. So if you're watching this video, you know, presently in real time, or if you're catching it later, and you're kind of taking a mental note because, you know, you're kind of seeing yourself in some of the things that I'm describing, that's okay. I am just one of those people that, like, you do not have to feel weird or odd or, you know, about what you may be experiencing, because I have found that the more you sit with that and you feel bad about it, you can't make the necessary changes. And the goal is to help you grow in this area and figure out what's going on and find some solutions to it. Okay, so please do not feel bad if you feel like you're kind of falling in this category that I'm about to describe. So for instance, distractions, you guys. These phones, these computers, all of the things, media, getting caught up in what the societal norms are, could possibly be prohibiting you from having an active sex life. Okay, so even if you are watching or watching something on your phone or your computer right before you go to bed, that could be time that you and your partner could be connecting. So if that's more of a priority, then sex is probably going to take a back seat. Okay, so I want you to think about that, you know, for yourself. Like, do you find that technology, social media, work, you know, is prohibiting you from connecting with your partner? If it is, you can silently raise your hand to yourself and be like, yeah, I am guilty of that. Okay, so that's something that we're seeing within this demographic, because you got to think about it. The millennials are really the ones that kind of was a big part of, like, as far as like the recession era, you know what I'm saying? Like the housing bust, you know, and just all of these different things, pandemic stuff, like this age range has experienced a lot. And if we're honest, just that stress alone can play a huge role. And that leads into my next reason as to why the sexless marriage is stress, which is not only a silent killer, but it's a silent killer of your relationship as well. So if you're constantly thinking about how to make ends meet, if you're feeling like, I'm so fed up with my job, I can't take it, I'm stressed out, you know, like I need to figure out another way, but I don't know how. Like, you're constantly thinking about that. You're trying to, you know, rear your children, they're going through a thing, you know, and it's like stressful on you. You're trying to balance maybe even aging parents. You just got a lot going on. Like, and a lot of people, if we're honest, in today's society, have a lot going on. It's like we have to take a ticket, you know what I'm saying, just to meet up with each other, just for lunch, or to come by someone's house or something like that. We're so overly consumed with everything. So you can imagine how sex could possibly take a backseat to that as well. And so again, if you're honest with yourself, think about your stress level. Are you typically stressed out on a regular basis? Are you worried about things all the time? Are you feeling like, you know, I don't have a support system? Even if even in your partner, you may not feel like your partner is supportive of you. Like, that's stressful. Okay, so those things can affect, you know, your sex life within your marriage. Obviously, disconnection is a huge one. And then that can also go back to feeling stressed and the distractions. If you are not nurturing your relationship, your marriage, it's going to fall off, people. It just is, you know. Like I said earlier in this video, I was talking about, okay, I'm taking my car, what I like to say, a massage, which is my maintenance, you know. And when I get my car washed, it's like my car is mani-pedi type of situation. Like, the things that we put so much energy into, I outside of our relationships can thrive, can flourish and get all of the things. But then somehow when it comes to our marriages and our relationships, it's not on the top of that list. And then we wonder why we're so disconnected, and we're wondering, why can I not see my partner in this light? Okay, so I want you to go all the way back to the beginning of your marriage, or the beginning, like when you all were dating. And I want you to think about almost how easy it was to have sex with your partner. Just because they showed up, you was ready to drop them draws, okay? Because you were so curious about them. You wanted to know them. You yearned to see them, like all of the things, all of this excitement. And then, we get into a routine, understandably. We get into like a rut. And then we just expect that one day, magically, we're going to get up and he's going to grab your neck and pin you up against the wall. Sweetie, no. Now you can grab him and pin him up against the wall to start something. But yeah, but like I'm saying, like, we're expecting these magical things to happen, and we're not consistently nurturing the relationship. And so, like I was saying before, is that at the beginning, there were so many unknowns. And so you were excited about discovering them. Conversations were longer than usual. Outings were longer than usual. Even sex may have been longer than usual. And so again, now you're here and you've been married for quite some time, and you're looking at your partner like, I don't even know who you are anymore. Well, that can happen if you don't get to know each other every single day. No matter how long you've been married, you need to get to know each other. What has changed? Because we're all evolving. So something has changed over the course of 5, 10, 15 years. Talk about it. Have conversations about it. And one thing I've noticed too, working with a lot of couples, how uncomfortable people are with talking about sex. Like just talking about it. And let me just be honest too. A big reason why sometimes we feel uncomfortable talking about sex is because when we share our honest desires and opinions and thoughts on the subject matter, sometimes our feelings can get a little hurt. And so that's vulnerability, right? And so a lot of times we don't want to be vulnerable. And so if we don't want to be vulnerable, how are we going to lead to having enjoyable sexual experiences? And when I say our feelings get a little hurt, I am not trying to make that seem like it's all on the men who feel that way. But I do see a trend where sometimes women are not as open and honest about, what they feel like they desire and what they need, because, men, you all are naturally, conquerors, and you want to be successful at things. You want to feel like you are the ultimate end all be all for your woman. And if you hear something that just counteracts that just even a little bit, it's a little bit of a sore spot, and your feelings can get a little hurt. Depending on how you respond to her when she tells you that she is not enjoying herself sexually, that's going to be a make or break situation. So if she's like, you know what, I would really like, for us to try this, or, I noticed that, typically when we're having sex, you may come like in a matter of 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and I would like to extend that, or what have you. Like, let's check this out. Maybe we could talk to a doctor. And then if you go into like a whole uproar, do you really think she's going to talk to you about that again? No, she's not. And again, now this goes back to another reason for sexless marriages. Now, this is my reason in terms of what I've seen working with a lot of couples. In modern society, a lot of women can do a lot for themselves. So they can hold down a job, purchase a home, properties, can run businesses, raise children, all of the things. At this point too, she really can provide herself with pleasure, so whether it's with her own hands or a toy. So at this point, if she is desiring something from you sexually, she's wanting you to kind of like step up, a little bit more in that area. And so sometimes for the guys, your feelings may become a tad bit hurt, and she may not even want to have sex anymore because she's like, I'm not going to even get what I desire. And so some women are at a point where like, no, I'm not faking it. I've talked to him about this. And since he's not willing to change, then guess what? I'm not having sex with him at all. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just telling you how it is. And so then what happens is sex dwindles, because it's like she's in a modern society, in a modern world, where she's like, I don't have to put up with this. So guess what? I ain't. So now she's not having sex with you, and you know, again, you're back into this space of like not having sex. And so again, these are like a lot of different reasons as to why a marriage may be considered sexless. And out of all of those things that I mentioned, ask yourself, are you in a sexless marriage? And not to be confused with like, yeah, I ain't having sex with my partner, but I'm having sex somewhere else. That's not what I'm talking about, y'all. That's a video for another time, you know. But like right now, I'm talking about the two of you all. Are you not having sex with each other, and you're not having sex anywhere else, you know? So and then one more reason, I forgot about this one, and I made another video on this about, is porn killing your relationship? Okay, so for some people who utilize porn so much, they get into a space of being fulfilled only through that way. So a lot of times this is just conditioning. Anything that we're doing in life over and over again is becoming a habit, and we're conditioning ourselves. So if we're conditioning ourselves to constantly utilize porn to spark some type of arousal or different things like that, or to get off, then it may be a little bit difficult for you to connect with your partner, because see, with porn is available 24/7. Okay, porn ain't gonna argue with you. Porn will always be on. It will always show up. Porn is not going to criticize you for how you look. Porn is not going to get mad at you because you want to get off again. Porn is not going to do any of that. So porn is 100% available no matter what. And sometimes for some people in relationships, that's a lot easier than actually going through the motions of connecting with their partners. So these are a lot of reasons why people are in sexless marriages. And ask yourself, currently, are you in one? Again, you do not have to comment on this video. I know that you don't have to do that, but you can ask yourself that. Okay, and then if that answer is a screaming yes, I am, let's talk about how to break free from that. Okay, and before we talk about how to turn your sexless marriage into a thriving sexual experience within your marriage, first you have to ask yourself, do you even believe it's possible? So I'm all about mindset, you guys. I'm all about proactiveness. So do you even think it's possible? If you're on the fence like, I'm not sure, that's okay. I can get with that, because obviously this has been a habit over time, and so you're not quite sure if it's possible because you don't know what to do. I get that. But if I ask you, do you think that it's possible for you to turn your situation around? And you are like, nope, not at all. I don't care. He don't listen. She don't listen, or whatever. Then this next part may be a little bit challenging for you, because you've already shut off the idea that this can be changed. Okay, so I just put that out there. So that's the first part. The next part you need to ask yourself is, do you still want to be with your partner? And do you want to have sex with them? I'm serious, y'all. Like, I know these seem like basic questions, but I am so serious. Like, do you want to have sex with your man? Do you want to have sex with your woman? Yes or no? I didn't ask about no details. I didn't ask about, like, well, I want to, but do you want to? Yes or no? Okay, cool. We got that out the way. Okay, so we're going to just assume that the answer is yes. You want to have sex with your partner. Now, next thing we got to talk about, habits. There's a saying, change your habits, you change your life. Okay? This did not happen overnight. This was a combination, or culmination, should I say, of opportunities, missed opportunities, and just time going by where sex was not made a priority. But first, you have to ask yourself, is connecting with your partner sexually even a priority for you? Because if it's not a priority at all, again, mindset, mindset. We got to shift that part. So, is it a priority? Do you feel that there's some value in connecting with your partner sexually? Do you feel that you gain connection? Do you feel that pleasure is important? Your pleasure, their pleasure? Like, I know basic questions, but I have to ask because, again, if you do not think that pleasure is important, or sexual pleasure is important, or you don't think connecting with your partner is important, then there's a possibility sex is not going to be important, because sex is a combination of pleasure and connection and vulnerability as well too. So with that being said, ask yourself, are those things important to you? Now, they may not be like number one on your list of priorities, but for right now, if you are watching this video about a sexless marriage, I'm going to say that it's safe to assume that sex is somewhere high up on that list. Okay, so I'm again assuming that sex is important to you. Pleasure, connection with your partner is important to you. Okay, so back to the habits. Change your habits, change your life. So, for instance, if one of you goes to bed extremely early and the other goes to bed really late, you all are typically hit or miss a lot. And more so miss than hit. So because of that, and you know that, and you all have a habit of like, okay, I go to bed at this time, they go to bed at this time, and so it just never happens. No. We're not gonna do that. It's not gonna be, oh, it just never happens. No, you're going to plan it. You're going to plan sex. Okay? And I know it doesn't sound as glamorous, and it doesn't sound spontaneous, and it doesn't even sound sexy right off the bat, but you are going to plan your sexual experiences with each other. You're gonna plan quickies, okay? You're gonna plan sessions long enough for you all to both experience some type of deep satisfaction, and you're gonna also plan time for exploration. Now that's gonna be the longest period of time that you all are spending together, is to explore each other sexually. And when I say explore, that means that you all get to try new things. You get to ask questions like, what does this feel like? Bring in some additives, whether you want to bring in some toys or some lingerie, you want to do some role playing, what have you. I don't care what the discovery and all of the things that you all decide to do during the exploration sexual experiences, but you need to be planning times where you all are both awake, alert, excited, all of the things, aroused. Like, this takes work, and I think that's where the confusing part is that in modern society, we have gotten so far away from the enjoyment and the pleasure of just being connected with one another. We're expecting everyone to just kind of show up and just do everything and be on point and make you, sing from the rooftops and make you scream and stuff like that. And you have not taken time to really explore one another, speak each other's language, and understand each other's physiological responses to things. Some of y'all don't know. And you've been together for a long time, and you do not know which button or what to touch or what to push, a lick, slap, and you don't know none of that to get your partner going, because they probably don't know, or they're not communicating that with you. So again, the first thing you're going to do is start planning. Keep a journal if you have to. Like, start taking notes of like, you know what? I'm looking at my journal. We have not had sex in a week. We haven't had sex in 2 weeks. We haven't had sex in 3 weeks. Oh, we need to plan this. We need to put it on the calendar. Change your habits. Change your life. Okay? Another thing If you are feeling pleasure, or let me say it like this, if you are feeling some sense of arousal, okay, and I've noticed this too sometimes in relationships, you're feeling aroused, and I'm going to speak more to the women on this one, because I not to say that men don't have this issue, but I see this more with women. If you are feeling aroused and you like, I need to get it in, why are you not expressing that to your partner? Why are you not making a statement or giving him a look or brushing up against him or doing something to let him know it's time, boo? It's time. Okay, and let me tell you some reasons why you're probably not doing that. You're probably not doing that, first of all, because some of you all still feel extremely self-conscious about your bodies. I get it. I get it. Back to societal norms again. I get it. But women, we are women for a reason. We're going to have curves. We're going to have lumps. We're going to have a little extra meat in certain areas. We're going to have some stretch marks. We're going to have some moles for some of us that's getting a little older. We're going to have all of the things. And let me tell you right now, a lot of men don't care. As a matter of fact, they welcome it. They enjoy it. So start seeing yourself through your partner's eyes. I know society and social media has taught us to like, okay, we need to be ripped here. We need to have absolutely no stomach and only abs and all booty and all of this unrealistic stuff, right? But if you could see yourself in the eyes of your partner, you would even desire yourself more. Trust me. Trust me. If you can empathize and put yourself in your partner's shoes and think about what he sees when he sees you. He may see, oh my God, her smile makes me melt like crazy. Or I love her hips. Like when, oh my God, I just love grabbing her hips when we're together. He may see the way you walk, you know, depending on how you walk. He's like, oh my God, I can't wait till we get home. Whatever it is, you know, he may look at your back and just think that it's the most beautiful rows and all of the rows, all of the back rows. Like he is just thinking about how good that feels when he's with you. If you can channel that same energy and think that way about yourself, you would be ripping your clothes off. Like you need to get all up in this. Like it's a mindset shift. I said that before. It's all about perspective. You've got to change your perspective because the biggest sex organ is your brain. So if you can switch that and just know that your man thinks that you are hot the way you are, honey, game changer. Game changer. Okay? So women, if you are feeling something like, you know, like, oh my God, it's time and I'm ready to, like, I want to have sex, but I don't want to be the one initiating up. Okay. A little TMI. A little transparency. Take it from him, okay? So, and listen, I say that because my husband and I, we always joke about this. And he said this for the longest. He's like, you know, women, you know, you all are kind of like ovens. It takes you all a little longer to warm up. And, you know, sometimes for men, we can be a little bit quicker in our response. You know, microwave doesn't take that much. So he said all that to say to me years ago was like, look, it ain't gonna take me long to get in no mood. So whenever you ready, do your thing. That has always stuck with me. So when I am ready, I take it, okay? And there are no complaints. So see yourself in the eyes of your man and be okay with initiating and taking it. And when I say take it, don't get me wrong, y'all. I don't want to be like banned or something like this. I'm not talking about non-consensual. I'm talking about, you know, your man desires you. So if you know that and you are feeling aroused yourself for whatever reason, it could be just like you saw something, you're feeling a little extra good about yourself. Maybe you just got off your cycle, you know what I mean? And like you just in that space. Go take it. Get your pleasure, girl. Stop playing. Okay? So that's another thing that we can do. So again, changing your habits, change your life. So these are things that you kind of got to get out of the habits that you were creating and create new habits. Okay. If you have medical and health concerns, get that checked out and be very demanding of your primary care physician. Like, we're going to figure this out together. Okay. And if you're not like really big on like medicine and stuff like that, try your hand at a holistic doctor. Seriously, you guys, it is time out. Like in 2024, people within the millennial age range should not be as unhealthy as they are. Now, I know some of this stuff is systemic. We got a lot of stuff going on in the government. They tampering with foods and stuff floating around in the air and all of the things. I get it. I get it. So there's some things that we don't have control over. But there's a lot of things we do. And our health, we need to take more control of that, because that is affecting sex within our marriages. You have to prioritize this stuff, again, but only if you feel that pleasure with your partner and connection is important. If these things are not important to you, then turn the video off. It doesn't apply to you. But if you know that these things are important and you know you've been suffering in this area for quite some time, these are some things you can do about it. Okay. Join communities, talk to people, watch videos like this, and really kind of understand where things went south. Don't blame yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't sit in it. Recognize it. And if you're a little sad about it, it's okay to be sad about it. Okay. If you're a little angry about it, it's okay. It's okay to shed a couple of tears because you're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. This is not how it used to be. I get it. But foster that communication with your partner today. Like, y'all sit down. If you got to watch this video again, okay, sit down and watch it again, because it's time out for a sexless marriage if you don't want it. If you're fine with it, no problem. But if you want something more fulfilling sexually in your marriage, you change your habits, you change your life. Okay? So make sure you all, share some comments or something like that. If not, as always, you can always reach out to me privately at Angie@angiedlee.com. Hey, you guys, check out my new book, The Intimacy Guru. It is on Amazon. It's also on my website at AngieDlee.com, but it's also on Amazon. So if you just type in the search bar, Angie D. Lee, you'll see my books come up, or you can just put in like The Intimacy Guru. I'll pop up. Make sure you all get that book. I'm telling you, game changer, life changer. I'm not just saying that. I am telling you all what works. And the reason I know it is because these are things that I work with couples on day in and day out. This is my life's work, you all. Like, seriously, this is all I do. All week, my work schedule, full-time entrepreneur. I work with couples. I write books. And I talk to people about this stuff all the time. So make sure you get that book, again, on Amazon. The paperback is $19.99. Ebook $9.99. Well, I think, you know what? I got a little sale going on today on the ebook for $4.99. So check that out. I'm always popping up with some sales, y'all. So make sure you following me, because like, I do some sales, I do some giveaways. And honestly, if you're not following, or if you're not on my mailing list or something, like, you'll miss out. I'm just being honest. I try my best to be on as many platforms as I can like handle. But just follow me and you'll find some goodies, some treats, some things that's going to help you all out. But I'm telling you all right now, sexless marriages in 2024, we throwing it in the garbage. Okay. We're done. Okay. It's time out for that. It's time for more thriving and fulfilling relationships. Alrighty. So again, like I said, change your habits, y'all. You will change your life. Okay. So until next time, thanks again, you guys, for joining me. I love you all. Now go have some sex, some good sex at that.